Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi allazina istafa amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallam. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair wa bika nasta'in ya Fattah ya Alim. رب زدني علما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Inshallah, today we will continue our study of Seerat-e-Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and today we will do his early childhood and two important events. One is Shaqq Sadr, the opening of the chest, and the second is his meeting with Bahira the monk and Bahira's prediction about Nabi Islam. So let's first start with splitting of the chest, which is called शक्क सदर. और ये नबी इस्लाम की ज़िंदगी में कई मरतबा हुआ है, ठीक है. So the first time it happened is when नबी इस्लाम जो है वो 4 साल के थे, ठीक है. He was still living with Hazrat Halima Radiallahu anha. And if you remember from our talk yesterday, that when after 2 years of age, Hazrat Halima Radiallahu anha came back to Bibi Amina and she offered Nabi Islam back, but there was a plague in Makkah Mukarramah and she wanted to keep him. Hence, Bibi Amina gave her the ijazat to take Nabi Islam back. So even at the age of 4, he was with Hazrat Halima Radiallahu anha. ठीक है. So वो नबी इस्लाम जो है उनके बच्चों के साथ और जो आस पड़ोस के बच्चे थे उनके साथ he used to take out the animals for grazing. जो उनकी बकरियां थी उनको चराते थे, ठीक है. And this is a sunnat of all the prophets कि all of the Anbiya and the prophets have grazed animals in their lifetime, ठीक है. तो नबी इस्लाम को ये सुन्नत पूरी करवानी थी अल्लाह ताला को, तो वो भी बकरियां चराते थे in his childhood. So he was 4 and he was in the grazing field when two angels, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam and Hazrat Mikail alayhi salam, they appeared in white garments, ठीक है, और उनके हाथ में एक गोल्डन ट्रे थी जिसके ऊपर जो है वो बर्फ थी, ठीक है. So they came, they put Nabi Islam down on the ground, they cut open his chest, उन्होंने उनका दिल मुबारक निकाला, they removed his heart, and then they split open his heart, and they took out a few pieces of blood, right, of let's say, blood clots, you can say, and and they said, this is Shaitan's portion. Then they washed Nabi Islam's heart with ice water in the tray and returned it to its original location after they stitched him up. Okay? So when the children around Nabi Islam saw this, तो वो भागे and they went to Hazrat Halima Radiallahu anha and her husband and they said that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been murdered. ठीक है? जैसे ही उन्होंने ये सुना, both of them they started running towards Nabi Islam, and when they came, Nabi Islam was standing and his face was pale. ठीक है? And when Hazrat Halima Radiallahu anha asked him what happened, he described exactly what happened to her. ठीक है? Now, what do the fuqaha say about this? What they say about this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was preparing Nabi Islam for Nabuwat. Okay? So, right from the age of 4, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually started cleansing his heart. Okay? So, this was the first time Shaqq Sadr happened. It also happens before Mi'raj. Inshallah, we will do in our journey of Sirat-e-Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That before the journey of Mi'raj also, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam came down and performed Shaqq Sadr on Nabi Islam. Okay. Alright, so when, after this event, Hazrat Halima Radiallahu anha, she became worried that, this is such a special child, इसने इनकी वजह से हमारी ज़िंदगी में इतनी बरकतें आई हैं, तो हमें इनको इनकी वालदा को वापस कर देना चाहिए. So she went back to Bibi Amina and she returned him back to her and she explained the whole situation that happened, that this is exactly what happened to her. When Bibi Amina heard about this, she said, don't worry, relax. I remember the noor that I faced and I experienced during my pregnancy. Uh, I can tell you that this boy has so much barakah that shaitan cannot even touch him. Okay? So these were her words, and nothing can harm him. Right? This is what she said. And Bibi Amina was content that nothing can happen to her child because he is a blessed child. Okay? Then Halima Anha returned home and Nabil Islam started living with his mother once again. Okay? Then, when Nabil Islam was 6, so this happened when he was 4. At the age of 6, Hazrat Halima Radiallahu anha decided to visit the grave of Nabil Islam's father, Abdullah. ठीक है? So they decided to go to Medina Munawwara. ठीक है? And they took along with them उनकी एक खादिमा थी Ayman Radiallahu anha. She also came with them. They stayed there for a month and then on their way back to Makkah, um, बीबी आमना's तबीयत बहुत ख़राब हो गई उनकी और वो जो हैं she passed away at a place called Abwa and she was buried there as well. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. So when Nabil Islam, before he was born, he lost his father, and at the age of 6 he lost his mother. Okay. When he came back, right, he was returned by Ayman Ritala Anha to Abdul Muttalib, and Abdul Muttalib loved him from deep from his heart, and he said that no matter what happens, I'm gonna take care of Nabi Islam. Now Abdul Muttalib was a very very special person amongst the Quraysh and a very well respected man. So what used to happen is कि जब वो जाते थे काबे की तरफ टू प्रे राइट तो उनका एक मैट बिछाया जाता था काबे के सामने अंडर द शेड एंड द साइड जहाँ पे सन का शेड होता था एंड नॉट इवन हिज ओन चिल्ड्रन वर अलाउड टू सिट ऑन हिज मैट बिकॉज इट वाज रिजर्व्ड फॉर हिम ठीक है सो however Nabil Islam used to sit on that mat right in the middle और कुरैश के कुछ सरदार आते थे वो उनको हटाने की कोशिश करते थे तो अब्दुल मुत्तलिब used to tell them that leave him alone right leave this son of mine alone by Allah this child is destined to an altogether unprecedented rank of eminence ठीक है and he would then ask Nabi Islam to sit next to him right बहुत ज़्यादा मोहब्बत करते थे अब्दुल मुत्तलिब एंड दिस इज़ वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट यू विल सी कि नबी इस्लाम से हर इंसान जो है वो टूट के मोहब्बत करता था ठीक है एंड अब उनकी उम्मत जो है वो भी उनसे अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह टूट के मोहब्बत करती है राइट एंड दैट्स व्हाई हिज नेम इज मोहम्मद द वन हु इज द मोस्ट प्रेज्ड राइट सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम तो उनके वालिदैन उनकी his foster mother Halima Taala Anha his grandfather his uncle Abu Talib और जितने भी लोगों के साथ नबी इस्लाम encountered they all used to love him a lot ठीक है before he declared prophethood ठीक है Ajib, a person who's loved so much by everyone and he's favored along as soon as he declares prophethood, people, his own family, Abu Lahab, turn against him. Big Sardars of Quraysh, Abu Jahl, they turn against him. So that was the test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we'll do that portion later in Seerah, inshallah. So once upon a time, right, at the time of Hajj, Abdul Muttalib was doing tawaf of the Kaaba और वो एक जो है poem बार बार दोहरा रहे थे. He kept saying in Arabic, "Oh Allah, return Muhammad my conveyance to me. Oh Lord, return him to me and do me a great favor." So a man heard him and he asked someone that why is Abdul Muttalib keeps on saying this. So someone told him that Abdul Muttalib loves, his grandchild Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam so much that whenever he sends him for any task, जब तक वो वापस नहीं आ जाते वो काम खत्म करने तक वो ये दुआ पढ़ते रहते हैं, ठीक है? And every time Nabi Islam is successful, never has he failed. And this time he sent Nabi Islam to find some lost camels, and it's been too long, right? It's been overdue. So he was scared. He started making this dua again. And after a little while, Nabi Islam returns with those lost camels, right? सो ही हैड अ ग्रैंडफादर, उनके दादा थे जो उनसे बहुत टूट के मोहब्बत करते थे. And then when Nabil Islam turned 8, so from 6, he lost his mother when he was 6. When he turned 8, Abdul Muttalib also left this world. Okay. Now, there are different historians who say different ages of Abdul Muttalib. Some say he was 82 or 85, 95, 110, 120, etc. So he was, of course, of age, and he was buried in a place called Hajun. Now, then Nabi Islam was given to Abu Talib, the uncle, right? He was obviously his chacha, his sage chacha the unke. And Abdul Muttalib consigned Nabi Islam to Abu Talib, and he requested him to bring him up with great affection and care and with great love. And Emir Anha narrates that अब्दुल मुत्तलिब का जब जनाजा जा रहा था तो नबी इस्लाम पीछे पीछे चल रहे थे एंड ही वाज क्राइंग. ठीक है. एंड एक दफा नबी इस्लाम से पूछा गया था, डू यू रिकॉल द डेथ ऑफ अब्दुल मुत्तलिब? नबी इस्लाम रिप्लाइड सेइंग दैट आई वाज 8 एट दैट टाइम. ठीक है. ऑलराइट. सो now, in Abu Talib's guardianship, again, Abu Talib used to love him a lot, right? He used to love him more than his own children. ठीक है. वो अपने बच्चों से ज्यादा उनसे मोहब्बत करते थे, उनको ज्यादा फेवर्स देते थे. ठीक है. And right up to his death, Abu Talib loved him a great deal and he protected him, right? And we will see that. Once there was a severe drought in Makkah. ठीक है. बारिश ही नहीं हो रही थी. और लोग बहुत परेशान थे because obviously when there's no rain, then there's no crops and the animals are hungry. तो ना दूध मिलता है, ना animals होते हैं, ना crops होते हैं. So pretty much a period of hunger for Makkah Mukarramah. So the people asked Abu Talib, because he was a leader of the Quraysh, one of the big leaders of Quraysh, to make dua for rain. So Abu Talib took Nabi Islam with him to Kaaba, and he made Nabi Islam sit, against the Kaaba, and he just pointed his hands up to the sky to make dua for rain. As soon as he pointed his hands upwards to the sky, तेजी से clouds आ गए, even though the sky was completely clear. एकदम से clouds gathered, dark clouds, and it started pouring rain. ठीक है. इतनी बारिश हुई कि हर जगह पानी भर गया. ठीक है. And there was substantial amount of water for all the animals and the crops, etc. And when he saw this, right? Abu Talib said, وَأَبْيَزُ وَأَبْيَزُ يُسْتَسْقَى الْغَمَامُ بِوَجْهِهِ ثِمَالُ الْيَتَامَى عِصْمَةٌ لِلْأَرَامِلِ. He, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is a person whose illuminated face is exploited to draw rain from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he is a sanctuary for the orphans and a refuge for the widows. Okay? So this is again the love Nabi Islam was getting from everyone, and he was a source of barakah. Obviously, he was so lovable as a child. ठीक है. जहाँ वो जाते थे अपनी बरकत फैलाते थे. His manners, his demeanor was so kind. He was so kind-hearted. The way he used to talk, the way he used to do business. Inshallah, we'll do this now. That automatically he had such an amazing and cozy personality that automatically he used to attract people around him, right? Everyone wanted to talk to him, everyone wanted to do business with him, everyone wanted to, be around him. So he was a person who people wanted to stay with him in his company because he was such an amazing person to be with, so kind-hearted. Okay? That is the Nabawi personality. So even before he became a prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ने इनकी personality ऐसी बनाई थी that he used to attract people, right? Just like a candle attracts moths, around them. Nabi Islam was a candle who used to attract everyone around him. Subhanallah. Now, when he turned 12, Nabi Islam, he made his first journey to Syria. ठीक है? Abu Talib decided to travel to Syria with a trade caravan of the Quraysh. Ab Syria ki journey was a very long and difficult journey, so Abu Talib did not want to take Nabi Islam because he was only 12. But because he insisted, right, and he realized that he would be heartbroken if he didn't take him along, he decided to take Nabi Islam along with him. On the way to Syria, The caravan stops at a place called Busra, right? And if you remember, right, when the day Nabi Islam was born, the palaces of Busra were lit up. तो यहाँ पे क्रिश्चियन मॉन्क रहता था जिसका नाम था जर्जिस, popularly known as Bahira the monk. ठीक है? And he was very well acquainted with the previous scriptures, and he was very well versed with the scriptures, and he knew the signs of the final prophet in the books. Yeah. And many times, whenever the Quraysh or anyone used to take the route of Syria, they used to cross this place जहाँ पे बहीरा रहता था. But he never used to, give any attention to the caravans passing. However, this time, when the trade caravan halted close to Bahira's monastery, and उनकी निगाह पड़ी नबी Islam पर, he at once recognized Nabi Islam, and he referred that this is the prophet who is referred to in the previous books, and he went and he held Nabi Islam's hands. ठीक है? Abu Musa al-Ashari anhu narrates that once Abu Talib traveled with some high-ranking elders of Quraysh to Syria. A Christian priest was living in the vicinity of the area where they had halted over for the night. They passed this priest on numerous occasions in the past, but he never cast a glance in their direction. ठीक है? तो कभी किसी को लिफ्ट ही नहीं कराता था. लेकिन this time though, when the trade caravan broke their journey, the monk unexpectedly emerged from his quarters, came to the caravan and started to scrutinize each one of the travelers until he came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The moment he laid his eyes on Nabi Islam, he grasped him by the hand and he exclaimed, "This is the leader of the worlds, this is the messenger of the worlds. Allah Ta'ala will commission him as the embodiment of mercy for the people of the world, that he will be the Rahmatul lil Alameen." Right? So even the monk knew that, right? Because he was a pious monk. उसको पता था कि he is Rahmatul lil Alameen. Now, जब जो सरदार कुरैश थे with the trade caravan, when they saw this and they heard this, they're like, "How do you know this, right? What makes you say such a claim?" The monk replied that when you emerged from the valley of the mountain, every single boulder and every single tree stooped down in prostration. So the monk could see that. कि हर पत्थर हर दरख्त नबी इस्लाम को सजदा कर रहा था. And trees and boulders don't bow down to anybody but a prophet, right? And then he said that I also recognize him from the seal of prophethood that is similar to an apple and appears just below his shoulder blade. ठीक है? Then what happened was that, because Bahira the monk was so happy, he started preparing a meal for the whole caravan. और वो जब उसने meal serve करा, then Nabi Islam was not there. And when Bahira the monk asked where is Nabi Islam, people told him that he was out herding the camels, right? Then when Nabi Islam came back, a cloud was sheltering him from the fierce rays of the sun. And as he approached the group, jahan darakht the, right? It was a desert, right? So there were very few places where there was shade. People had already taken the shaded areas. So Nabi Islam actually sat in the open sun. और हुआ क्या कि एक दरख्त bowed down towards Nabi Islam to give him shade. And Bahira, pointed out that look at that tree that's bowing down to give shade to this prophet, right? Who's going to be a prophet. Okay. Then what happens is that Bahira tells the people के कौन इनका रखवाला है, right? So people point to Abu Talib. He tells Abu Talib that his life is in danger. You should not take him to Syria. The Romans are looking for him because they want to eliminate him. उनको पता चल गया है from the priests that the prophet has been born and that he will be making a journey towards Syria. तो वो इनके पीछे हैं. So you should safeguard him and you should send him back. Um, While he was doing this, he caught sight of a few monks in the area looking around. He went and he asked them, "What are you doing?" They told him that they're looking for a prophet who will be making a journey and they're here to capture him. But Bahira the monk, because he was pious, he told them that if it is destined for him to become a prophet, can you do anything to change that? And they said, "No, we cannot change Taqdeer, we cannot change destiny." So then Bahira the monk sat them down, he explained it to them, and he told them that this is the Prophet, Nabi Islam, and they actually did not capture him, but they decided to stay with Bahira, and they decided not to go back to Syria and to the Roman Empire. Okay. Now, because of all of this, right, these travelers took an oath, right, and Bahira asked Abu Talib to send Nabi Islam back, and Nabi Islam was sent back to Makkah Mukarramah, and he did not make his journey to Syria. Okay, so this was the blessed journey where he got, confirmation, and the people of Quraysh also started seeing these signs, right? जहाँ पे जाते थे, whenever he used to meet someone special, miracles used to happen, things used to change, and इस तरह की चीजें होती थी, so they were also getting signs. Then what happens after that is that Nabil Islam, became a trader, right? And he used to trade a lot, of course. तो जहाँ जहाँ नबी इस्लाम जाते थे, वहाँ वहाँ वो trade करते थे. And whenever he used to trade with people, right, people used to become his fan. ठीक है? And that's when he earned the title of Sadiq al-Amin, as-Sadiq al-Amin, right? Al-Amin means the truthful. Both of these things mean Sadiq, and Al-Amin means Amanatdar or Sache, right? So much so that the Quraysh of Makkah used to keep their belongings with Nabi Islam, ठीक है? क्योंकि उनको पता था कि वो इसके अंदर जो है वो कोई खराबी नहीं करेंगे, and they will return his belongings exactly as they've given it to him, ठीक है? So, and there are many accounts, right? So, Abdullah bin Abi Hamza radiallahu anhu is a Sahabi. He says that before prophethood, I once engaged in a trade transaction where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam I actually owed him some money. ठीक है? And I promised him that I would return on a certain date. I will return his money in a certain place. And he's like, I forgot about it. और मुझे 3 दिन बाद याद आया. And the moment I remembered, I rushed to that place only to see Nabil Islam standing there. And all he said was, you put me into difficulty. I have been waiting here for you for the last 3 days. Bas, that's it. Imagine 3 दिन तक Nabil Islam was waiting for a person to return his money. We cannot wait for someone for 3 minutes. कोई कहेगा ना हम 4 बजे आएंगे, हम 4 बज के 3 मिनट होंगे, हम उसको कॉल करना शुरू कर देंगे. इमेजिन इफ इज लेट बाय 3 आवर्स, राइट? हम क्या करेंगे? हम कॉलिंग करेंगे, व्हाट्सएप करेंगे, वॉइस नोट्स भेजेंगे, नाउजुबिल्लाह गालियां देंगे उसको, वी विल से कि भाग गया है पैसे लेके, हम लोगों को बता देंगे, वी विल कॉल आवर रिलेटिव्स, वी विल कॉल द नेबर्स, वी विल टेल एनीवन दैट मुझे पता था ये बंदा 2 नंबर है, पैसे लेके भाग गया, राइट? बट नबी इस्लाम वाज काम, कंटेंट, and because of his loving nature and him being Sadiq al-Amin, and he put his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? He waited and he got his money back. Then another Sahabi, Qais bin Saib Makhzumi radhiyallahu anhu, says that I was Nabi Islam's business partner in the times of ignorance, when obviously when he was not a Muslim, right? The Sahabi was not a Muslim, zamane jahiliyat mein. And he says he was the most favorable of partners. He would neither quarrel nor raise a dispute. Okay? So Nabi Islam very quickly earned his reputation of being Sadiq and Al-Amin, and he earned his reputation being that he, people wanted to trade with him और उनके साथ business करते थे. ठीक है? So coming to the lessons learned from him from here, right? So the first thing is grazing goats. Why are prophets made to graze goats? The first thing is इससे अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला जो है वो अंबिया को आजिज बनाना चाहते थे, because grazing goats is a very down to earth act, right? If you look at shepherds, वो क्या करते हैं? वो एक बकरियां चरा रहे होते हैं, ठीक है? इससे ज्यादा कोई चीज हो ही नहीं सकती which makes you down to earth, right? सो अगर हमें ये कोई मौका मिले किसी गांव देहात विजिट करने के लिए, और वी गो समवेयर एंड देयर सम गोट्स, वी शुड आल्सो डू इट फॉर अ बिट, जस्ट with the niyat of sunnah. Okay, all the prophets have grazed goats, right? And they've been shepherds, and Hazrat Umar Itala Anhu also used to be a shepherd, right? Actually, when he was a khalifa, right, he was once crying, and a sahabi asked him, "Oh, Amirul Mu'minin, what happened?" And he used to say that when I was a child, My father used to, scold me because I couldn't take care of the cattle, and now I am the Amir Mu'mineen, and I'm taking care of all the Muslims. And Allah Subhanahu wa Taala ने मुझे कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँचा दिया, right? So that is the आजिज़ी जो अल्लाह Subhanahu wa Taala चाहते हैं इंसानों में हो, and that is what He wanted in the Anbiya. And look at us today, हमें थोड़ी सी दुनिया में कुछ मिल जाता है, थोड़ा सा रुतबा मिल जाता है, we get a position, in the world, or we're respected by our neighbors, our family, our friends, और हमें लगता है हम बहुत, बहुत बड़े बन गए, right? Remember that the tree that gives the most fruit and the tree that is the most green, सबसे ज्यादा वही दरख्त झुका हुआ होता है. और जो दरख्त कांटों वाला होता है जिसपे फल नहीं होते, जिसमें लीव्स नहीं होते, जिसमें कोई शेड नहीं होता, वो सीधा खड़ा हुआ होता है, राइट? तो डोंट बी दैट थॉर्नी ट्री जिसमें कांटे उग रहे हैं क्योंकि वो सीधा है, वो किसी को फायदा नहीं दे रहा, ना उसमें जो है कोई शेड है, ना कोई उसमें फल है, ठीक है? और जो बी दैट ट्री दैट गिव्स शेड to the people, right? So, and be that tree that gives fruit to the people, right? And oxygen to the people. और वो वाला दरख्त होता है जो बड़ा होता है, घना होता है, but it's humble. It's coming down, right? It's bent down. So no matter what happens to us in the dunya, right? We can become, we can have a very high martaba in the army, in the government. We can be at a very big position in a corporate company, right? You can become whatever you want, right? You can be a very big businessman. You can be a businesswoman or whatever. आप कुछ भी हो सकते हैं, but at the end of the day, you are a faqir in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, right, that all of you are fuqara. Antumul fuqara'u ilallah. Ya ayyuhan nas, antumul fuqara'u ilallah. That all human beings, all the human beings, not only the Muslims, all of you are faqir in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because फकीर का मतलब क्या? फकीर वो है जिसको कोई चीज चाहिए होती है, right? Faqir is the one who asks, and we are the one who ask. We ask who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask him for rizq, we ask him for hidayat, we ask him for children, we ask him for wealth, we ask him for health, we ask him for time, barakah, etc., etc. And if he doesn't want to give us even half a dana of rice, हम वो नहीं मिल सकता. So this is the first lesson, right? Be humble. Whatever you want to do, you should be humble, right? Never forget the asliyat that we are faqir. And we're not describing that, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described that in Quran that we are faqir. The second lesson that we get, from this is that हुकूकुल इबाद का कितना बड़ा रोल है in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the deen of Islam. Nabi Islam was always kind-hearted. He was rahmatul lil alameen from the day he was born, right? Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala उनके साथ जो favors कर रहे थे and miracles थे उनके, but as a personality, right? He never used to fight with people. He was the one known to bring end to a conflict, right? आजकल हम लड़ने पे राजी होते हैं, हम सब लड़ने पे तैयार होते हैं, लेकिन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रेजोल्यूशन के लिए कोई तैयार नहीं होता. हम लोगों को लड़ाने में माहिर हैं, लेकिन हम लोगों को दोस्तियां कराने में और अमन कराने में बहुत पीछे हैं, ठीक है? We should be the ones patching up people rather than making people fight, right? We do ghibat, we do backbiting, we do bohtan, we do slander, right? जिसकी वजह से और लोगों के अंदर फूट पड़ती है, rather than हम लोगों को करीब लाएं, right? So हुकूक इबाद are so important, right? That this is the first step towards giving dawah in deen. If you are, a good Muslim, and your ikhlaq are good, people will automatically start converging towards you. And this is exactly the sunnah of Nabi Islam. Even before he was a prophet, he used to attract people like a magnet. Okay? Be the magnet. But don't be the magnet because you are too wealthy or you are too smart or you have an amazing degree, right? Or you're doing something huge, or you are whatever, right? Don't be a magnet because of that. Be a magnet because of your personality. Be a magnet because you are humble. Be a magnet because you're kind. Be a magnet because you forgive people. Be a magnet because you give charity. Be a magnet because you give sadaqah. Be a magnet because you take care of the elderly. Be a magnet because you take care of your family. Be a magnet for your siblings. Be a magnet for your parents. Be a magnet for your children. Be a magnet for your extended family, for your uncles, aunts, for your cousins, ठीक है? Chacha, khala, puppo, taya, etc., dada, dadi, nana, nani. Be that nucleus in the family that joins the whole family together, right? और हर फैमिली में ऐसे कुछ लोग होते हैं, right? And if you look at their traits, उनके दिल बहुत बड़े होते हैं. They are people with big hearts, right? So be that nucleus in the family. So that's another learning that we get, that hukukul ibad are extremely important. Yes, that those are not the only thing. And the people who have the best hukukul ibad are the ones who have the best hukukullah as well. Right? So there's a misconception, right? Obviously, enlightened moderation जो कहती है कि हुकूक इबाद is everything and there's no such thing as हुकूक अल्लाह. नमाज़ें नहीं पढ़ें खैर है, लेकिन किसी को धोखा न दें. नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है. दोनों चीज़ें करनी है, because that is how our deen is made, right? There is hukuk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and there's hukuk of the people, right? How can you say that I will fulfill the hukuk of people but I will not fulfill the hukuk of Allah? Can you say that? You cannot say that, right? ऐसे तो नहीं कह सकते. So you need to do the faraiz and wajibat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Sharia. When you do that, and when you recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will understand hukuk al-ibad even better. Then you will recognize relationships even better. Then you will recognize that what does it mean to be really humble, right? This is what the Deen of Islam teaches us. So this is another big learning that we get, from today's session. And Nabi Islam was so humble. He was getting signs wherever he was going. He was getting those miracles, but not even once did he mention it. Did he boast about it, right? Imagine if, I'm just saying, imagine if something like this happens to you, in an imaginary world. Okay, someone comes up to you and starts doing such tarif for you. You will feel as if, collar खड़े हो जाएंगे हमारे. हम कहेंगे we'll go back, we'll tell everyone, we'll put it on WhatsApp, we'll take a selfie, we'll put pictures, we'll go berserk, we'll go crazy. So, matlab, the point is that, be that person, right? That's why we're doing this Seerat. We want to be like Nabi Islam because his personality is the most absolutely perfect personality there can be. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him like that, right? He is the last Nabi. He is the one who is the role model for all of us. And he is Rahmatul lil Alameen. Not only for the Mu'mineen, but for the whole Alam. He is the Rahmat, right? So, inshallah, that's where we will stop today. And we will continue tomorrow with the next topic of the first marriage of Nabi Islam. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.